So in Indonesia, Earthworm has worked since 1999. It's the oldest presence of Earthworm in the field. And what we've been doing since 2010 is heavily working on the palm oil industry, the pulp and paper industry. And that has led us to working with many businesses that have opened and cleared forests in the past and have changed and developed no deforestation policies. And that deforestation has really plummeted. However, the smallholders that are in between the concessions have continued to deforest. So we need to take a business approach where what's being done by farmers differently is valued. And that was the idea of Lemungsure. So what we wanted to do, and the vision was, if we create a model of business that allows communities to produce in an agroecological way, practicing regenerative agriculture, so using less pesticides, using less inputs, saving on that, making a high quality product that would find its place on the market, so that the farmers could go almost end to end and commercialize what they do. Then the farmers would make a decent living and would be able to prosper and reinvest in their farms, lower their costs, etc. And the idea was that if we can do it in one place and learn the recipe of how to do it, then we could franchise it or do it in many other places all around our projects, carried by farmer business units, which would be called Lemungsure.
Jadi Lemungsure itu kalau berada di Kebumen dan dari tempatnya di dekat Gombong. Jadi kalau kita dari Jakarta naik kereta api mungkin sekitar 12 jam dari Gombong, turun di Gombong. Kalau di Gombong ke Lemungsure mungkin sekitar 45 menit lah. Jadi sebenarnya kalau secara akses tidak mudah tempat ini. Tapi kalau misalkan untuk kepentingan pelatihan, orang belajar di situ, orang nggak ke mana-mana. Jadi bisa fokus pelatihan di situ.
With Lemungsure, one side the location was great because of the team connection, but the other problem is that we didn't find the commodity we work with. So in one end we had a lot of experience in palm and cocoa, but in Lemungsure, the farmers around Lemungsure were not producing those commodities. They were mainly producing rice, coconut, corn in some extent, and coffee. So we focus on those commodities with the farmers in Lemungsure.
Ada usaha-usaha yang dibangun di Lemungsure, misalkan usaha tentang gula semut misalnya yang dikemas dengan konsepnya EF, dengan konsepnya yang ada di situ, ada profile siapa petaninya, ada scan barcode-nya yang kalau kita scan bisa muncul petaninya siapa dan sebagainya.
We had the palm sugar, we had the coffee branded Lemungsure, and the whole story of the product was through a QR code you could access the farmer location. So the team had really brought everything we had learned around traceability, but also around coaching farmers into the product.
When we engage more farmers, when he understands where his product is going, it's easier to engage the farmers in changing his practices. He understands himself the story that we want to put behind the product.
But in parallel, what the team did, it's using their connections in Jakarta to connect with the local Starbucks, for example, or connecting with Indofood, a giant supermarket in Indonesia, who was like, I'm interested by those products, I need some of those, and I will choose the ones from Lemungsure.
Kemudian ada juga tim marketing yang memasarkan itu, dan itu lumayan sudah masuk ke beberapa supermarket di sekitar Semarang, Jakarta juga, di Superindo.
What the Earthworm team did in the Lemungsure project was, on one side, working with farmers, two, working locally in the village in finding processing facilities, working with the government to find the right spaces and places to do that, and building the traceability. So that's all the upstream part.
We had a strong partner, which was the local government, for logistics and storage, because we needed warehouse, and we got a license from the local government to rent warehouse at the district level. So I think the strongest partners we had in Lemungsure was the local government, on top of farmers and farmers cooperative and association.
And later, when I got the opportunity to visit, I saw the farmers speaking for themselves about how they were happy transforming their produce, not selling it on the commodity markets, and getting a lot more value for it. Getting the first clients was a real success because we got a supermarket saying, yeah, I like those products, I want to commercialize them, and we saw the volumes going up and up and up. So there was an excitement around the fact that, hey, we're onto something here, and the teams were super enthusiastic. So I think that role of the Earthworm in a way of connecting the worlds, connecting the world of the city in Jakarta to the world of the countryside in Java was quite powerful. So all I've said today is like, it sounds like a fantastic project, and you're like, why did it not work? Their main crop was rice and corn. That's what they had on most of their areas. So the farmers told us, well, cool what we're doing on sugar and coffee, but we want to do that on rice, and we are conducting our farm in one way. So we want to reduce pesticides, we want to access those premium markets. We entered into a commodity market, we got some first orders, and then we realized that it's a big game, which we were not really prepared for.
So we find ourselves in a situation where we had to do a lot of cash advance, and it's not something that we manage. We are NGO, we are not a company. So managing the cash flow in terms of pre-financing or buying the product from farmers, and we wanted to make sure that we buy the product from farmers at the right price and on time, directly when we pick up the product. We wanted to do the good thing.
We had created expectations to the farmers based on a few wins. So we had a win on the coffee with a Starbucks-like company which bought our coffee, and we found it, okay, it's always going to be like that. So we started to make volume projections, etc. The team got carried away and started to tell the farmer, this is how it's going to be. And I think on the other hand, we started to be stuck between a rock and a hard place, because we could see that the market was not always following that premiumization of the product. And on the other hand, the farmers were expecting premiums, and so the team started to try to please everyone, and I think that was also complicated.
We decided at one point to stop. I think if you don't know how to stop or when to stop, you try and you give hope to farmers, then there is no sales, there is no more profit, there is no product on the shelf of the supermarket. And we keep trying and trying, I think it would have been a failure.
But we thought we could do everything, like a Swiss knife. Oh yeah, we can do marketing, we can do farmer trading, traceability. We know we can learn. Actually not.
Jadi pembelajarannya ya kalau kita mau melakukan bisnis, ya tentunya kita harus melihat kemampuan kita di level mana, terus kemudian apakah memang kita orang yang tepat menjalankan itu. Waktu itu mereka meminta kita untuk paling nggak membantu untuk beberapa bulan untuk kita bantu pembiayaan untuk perawatan dan sebagainya.
We made sure that they were not, left without being paid. So that was for us a commitment to them. So everyone got paid, and then we explained that the project would sunset, would not continue because of the various reasons. So transparency was really the key to end the project.
Karena core kita kan bukan bisnis, kita non-profit organization.
I don't think it was a failure, but clearly it was a process through the one we learned a lot. Maybe we forgot about it, but the people who were at the beginning of Lemungsure are all people from EF passionate about one thing, working with farmers and putting more money in the farmer pocket.
Mungkin kita perlu memikirkan opsi lain selain Lemungsure seperti Lemungsure misalnya.
If we are to scale impact in such way, and I'm fully convinced that's the way forward, it's by partnering with business, partnering with a food business that has the knowledge, the networks, the sales force, and the ability to manage that and see it as an addition to its existing business or a transformation to its business.
We say that's okay, let's be transparent about it with the farmers mainly. As I said before, that we engage with farmers, we coach them, we help them to address everything they do on farm. So we continue that program. And
in particular with coaching the farmers, we didn't connect so much with the universities and the experts initially. And we missed some things. So when we gave advice to the farmer, it was not complete. And so we realized that afterwards. But when we are doing projects now, we are systematically involving institutes even if they're not the most pioneering on regenerative agriculture, we walk the journey together. And sometimes on very basic things, they can help us bring safeguards and not make mistakes.